All right. Well, I finally reached the 50,000 nickels searched milestone. It really didn't take as long as I thought it would. I do have another 10,000 on order that I'm going to go through next week, hopefully. I did not find any nickels that I needed for this set. It's the first time I've went through 10,000 and did not find a single one. It was somewhat expected. I've been on a pretty good run so far. I did find a pair of 1950s. They unfortunately did not have the D on the back, but fortunately, I already have one in my collection, as I've mentioned before. I was fortunate enough to find a very, very good condition 1950D in my very first box when I haphazardly started this back in 2014. Fortunately, I didn't keep any notes of totals of everything that I found to compare, but thankfully, I only got 6 or 8,000 into this for a lot of time elapsed, and I finally had time again to start this again. So I'm going through my finds over here. I found 7 1939s, and if there are any other coin roll hunters watching this, they'll know the disappointment of every time you flip it over and you don't see that S or that D that's in there. But nonetheless, it's still fun. Right now, the only nickels I have left to find are a 1938S, a 1939D, 1942S, 1943D, and a 1944S. Mintages are pretty low on this. I'm going to give some credit here. The Nickel Searcher off the coincommunity.com forums and the coin roll hunting. He had progressed through this entire collection. It took him, I believe, 7 years, but he did compile some very interesting statistics on here. The entire mintage run for the 1938 through 1959 Jeffersons, just a little over 3.7 billion. It's going to kind of give you an idea of how watered down this is. That's for the entire run from 1938 to 1959. In just the 4 years of 2010 through 2013, that exceeded that couple of decades that they minted these. So, for example, this 1938S that I'm looking for, they only minted 4.1 million. And out of those, how many of them have been destroyed, lost, hoarded, kept in collections? It's really kind of a mystery as how many's left out there. But anyway, enjoy the video. I've got some pictures put up at the end. I'm slowly learning how to use some video editing software so you guys can see some close-ups of these coins instead of just the faraway time lapse. And you'll notice as you watch this time lapse, I took this over seven different periods. Just things came up. You got to work. I've got a wife and a 18-month-old at home. Fortunately, you'll see me in my suit at one point. Both of my morning appointments canceled. The weather was very nice on Friday. So I'm like, well, we got an hour to kill. We'll go through some nickels real quick before I got to get to the office. Gosh, once I get these things in my basement, it's just a burning desire to go through all of them as fast as I can. So I'm going to have to work on just pacing myself, spreading this out through a couple of days, which this took. I spread this out over 2 days, so I give myself a little pat on the back for it. But I'm excited to see what the next 10,000 will bring. pull from another 10,000 nickels. We got 146 belonging to the 1938 through 1961 series, excluding 1960 and 1961 for obvious reasons because they're just everywhere. Got 4 silvers, none that I needed. An S. I did get a really nice looking 1940. In here somewhere, I got a pair of 1950s, but not the 1950D. It doesn't matter, I already have one, but it would be cool to have another. There's all the nickels. So I spent 2 days going through this off and on. And these are just some random ones. I'll see if I got upgrades for my other coin series. These ones still had some luster to them. Pretty good looking 1968. Also got ourselves a handful of Canadians. Not a single Buffalo nickel. I did pull this one early on. 1906 Liberty. Pretty rough shape. Not as nice as the last one. So anyway, I'm going to get through looking over all these, tally up the numbers, and I got another 10,000 on the way for next week. So you can pause here if you'd like. Here are the totals so far, the first 50,000 nickels searched. As I've mentioned in other videos, I did search, it was either 6,000 or 8,000 back in 2014, and I found a lot of the key dates, including a 1950D in my very first box. On this most recent hunt, I did find a pair of 1950s, which you'll see a picture of here shortly. And unfortunately, as soon as I'd flip them over, no mint mark. So I did also find a really cool looking 2019 5-cent coin from Bermuda. I love the fish that's on the back. And last but not least, the 1906 Liberty V. So I've got another 10,000 on order. I'm going to go through them again next week. Thanks for watching.